Hey Sunny, are you there? Hello. Hey Sunny, are you there? Hello, are you there?
No, Jyoti, can you hear me? Hello?
Sunny, your voice is cracking.
Wait, is it audible now?
It's a bit better, but it's not in a good quality. And there are background
Okay,
sounds
because
as well.
now it should be audible, I think.
Yes, it's better.
So, can
I
you send a
haven't
reminder to
received
the
the mail.
students? I don't see people joining right now.
So you have sent the email link, right?
Yeah, I have sent the mail to you while putting all the responses in the CC. You can check also.
Okay. Okay, that's why I have 3 minutes. Okay, I will just reply on that. That's fine. They will be. So there is no one in the waiting room right now.
Sorry?
There is no one in the waiting room right now.
No, there is no waiting list. Directly, students can join this.
Sorry, there is no waiting room. Students can join this. Is this what you're saying?
Yes.
Why is it so that no one is there?
Yes, students have started joining, Jyoti, I think.
Good afternoon, everyone. Do ask your friends to join soon. I guess some are facing some link issues. Please help them with it. The link must be circulated to everyone who has registered for the workshop. Please ask everyone to join soon so that we can begin.
Yeah, hi Jyoti, can you hear me?
Hi, Sunny.
Hi Deepika ma'am.
Shall we begin?
Uh, just give me a moment. Jyoti, am I audible? Deepika ma'am, I have made you the host.
All right. Just let me know when to begin. I'll wait.
Sure, sure. I think students are still joining. Let's wait for 5 minutes.
No worries, no worries.
Hi all. Guys, have you posted in your groups about the meeting link and workshop? I will highly appreciate if some of you can turn on, all of you can turn on the videos and some of you can unmute and speak. Balaji, Manas, Deepika, you guys there? Okay, so if you are considering that this is an online workshop, you can switch off your videos, switch off the microphone and just be off and be great, good with the certificate. So let me clear it here, sir. It won't be possible.
Yeah,
Towards
thank you.
the end, we will have a quiz, we will have that attendance check, and then only whoever passes the quiz will get the certificate.
And
So
let's
it's
try
better
to
that you
make
guys get it.
Yeah, and let's try to make it interactive also. Do speak out, do discuss your doubts during the training, guys. We would really appreciate it.
Correct. So let me introduce you to Henry Harvin as well. You must be knowing them. We as IIM Calcutta have many ties with them. They are global education firm. And today with us, this session will be conducted by Deepika ma'am. She is an herself industrialist with years of experience. So I want to highlight this because we are also representing IIM Calcutta. So I want you all to be in that particular seminar where we can represent the best of our images. The handy having people conduct workshops across different IIMs, different institutes. So this is our chance to prove ourselves. And Deepika ma'am, she herself is the director in some MNCs, and she's a very respectable person. So please carry the good fame, good name forward. So coming to a bit lighter part, I would like to hear from you all. How are your guys' preparations going? How the CV making going on?
So first of all, Jyoti, thank you so much for the introduction, and this is for you all, guys. So if you are like hesitant about speaking on the mic, you can always use the chat box, and you can post your queries, and you can talk using the chat box also. So just make it a very interactive session, guys. So it will be a two-way interaction. It should be a two-way interaction actually.
Acha, let me ask this one generic question. Have you guys yet received some PPT-based tasks? Have you gone through Abhishek Goyal's classes, the haptic PPTs, his critic reviews or not? Have you still got the favor or not? No. If you haven't, I will say, I don't know if you're lucky or you are not. But yes, trust me, PPTs are the essential part of MPA. And it creates a lot of difference in all your case comms, in all your presentations, class presentations. And obviously, if I say during my internship, the most important thing was a clear PPT to come how to well to communicate my ideas. So with that perspective, we also had some conversation with our professors who suggested us that yes, this is the most essential skill an MBA grad must have. And here we do have the workshop for you. So I really wish that you all make best use of this workshop to learn and after this 3 hours you are in a position where your skills are developed and you have better understanding things. Yeah, hi Laksh, you can unmute yourself.
Chat box is disabled.
Is it? Just let me check.
Deepika ma'am, can you enable the chat box, please?
Let me just check. There's no disable feature as such. If you click on the chat option, you should be able to ping.
Yeah. So can you make me the host? I'll just figure it out.
I'll do that, sure.
As a
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you guys can tell us what are your expectations from this workshop as your friends are joining, and some of you in parallel can put the links and can share that we'll be starting our workshop soon on all your groups, section groups. Some of you can unmute and tell what are your expectations from this session. Come on, guys, do speak.
Yeah, hi
Don't force me
Jyoti,
to
this
put up
is Akanksha this
Yeah,
side.
hi, Akansha.
Yeah, so for the links, yeah, that I was about to mention that the chat has been disabled. And
Mhm.
regarding the presentation, yeah, like I'm very new to it. It's just a basic thing that I know, like, so I was expecting some good, great presentations, ideas that you all guys can come up with, and that will help in the long run. Because that's definitely a very crucial aspect. Every day we are doing this, and as you mentioned about, you already know that we were mentioning about Abhishek Goel's class and the presentation and everything. So yeah.
So have you got any assignments till now? You must have everything.
Yes, from the term one starting, we are making a lot of presentations.
Any critic reviews which you might have received, or some particular thing you're looking to develop?
Not any specific, I would say, but it's an overall, would say, like it was all not about the specific presentation. It should be a formal looking and yeah, those.
Anyone who has started participating in case forms and struggling with case form presentations, maybe the one page of presentations they require. Come on, guys, don't you guys participate in case forms? I strongly believe that that's not the case. It's just that you're shy here to speak.
Yes, hello Jayati.
Hi, Praneet.
Yes, so I have been participating in case forms and while making presentations, the problem I'm facing is like if I try to push too much data in one slide, like it doesn't look very good. But I have seen some PPTs where there is a lot of data, but it still looks presentable and understanding those are. But when I try to replicate it, I am not able to. I am not able to copy it like that.
So what I
that is one of
understand
the
is data crunching is becoming a problem for you to slice the data in one slide. Is that?
Yes. It looks very much clustered and doesn't look good.
Has any of you struggled with charts yet? Different sorts of charts, which to use when, how to declutter the charts. If not, then trust me, that is the must needed thing in Accenture. So I interned in Accenture, and one of the major things I had been taught there was there is lots of information. How to curate that information in a form where your presentations are not clumsy at all. It gives the main height idea meaning, and it has a level of depth. So if someone just wants to screen through your presentation, just have a minute to look through, then also they get the main idea. If someone has the detailed time and wants to go to details, then your presentation starts to that audience as well. And coming to charts, so I had this little project where I was working with data and I had to present my findings. I was so much confused which sorts of data charts to use. And after using the charts, how to make my main point come out of that data, because data had all the information, but I want to create some specific part of it. So how that skill came very handy to me. And that's why we are here to have you develop that skills much before your internship in your first semester, so that you can use that in case forms as well and to the meaningful sums. Guys, we are at 59. We had received a good lot many registrations from your batch. So I'm still looking for more people to join so that we can start a no one loses on something. So do circulate the message in all your groups. If you need to call people, you may. I have put up the link on TG group as well with K59 batch. Ask your friends to join so that we can start in like next 5 minutes. We're already late by 20 minutes.
Hello. Guys, can you check whether if you are able to chat right now?
Hello, sir, in the chat in a second.
That seems disabled.
Yes, Jayati. So shall we start?
Yeah. So we have 63 participants right now. And I will request all the members to ask their friends to join as we start.
We had received more than 100 so it's still not great. You guys can circulate the section.
Because your voice is cracking. Okay. So I believe that he was wishing you all the best for the workshop. So We wish you the best times. Learn well. Ask all the doubts which you have. We will try to enable the chat. Meanwhile, you can anytime raise your hands. We will give you a chance to unmute and speak. Any questions? Please raise your hands. So it's good. Over to you, Sunny. You can start.
So I am Sunny. So I welcome you all for this workshop on advanced PPT making. So our trainer is Deepika ma'am. So she'll be teaching you. She'll be giving you all the insights on how to make a advanced PPT which you can use in your professional life also. Deepika ma'am.
Yeah.
Sure. Over to you, ma'am.
All right, sure. Thank you. So, hi, good afternoon, and welcome to the session, everyone. And all right, so before I get started, I would thank Jayati for giving a good introduction about myself. I'll just begin again with a brief that yes, I am an industrialist and I work in one of the corporate multinational banks as well. And I've got overall around 8 years of experience. I'm an engineer. I've done my MBA in IT, my MCA in AI, artificial intelligence, and my doctoral research again in AI from Switzerland University, from the University of Switzerland. My core areas are mostly into AI and ML. All right, but because you know that the data, it's all the data that we handle every time related to AI and ML and everything. And this is exactly when there's a lot of data handling and there's a lot of work which goes in the background, right? Because our bread and butter, rather, I would say, of today for almost all the companies is nothing but this data only. Be it any business, be it anything, it's this data that you need to handle. Now, presenting this data is it's a big thing. Like, how do you present it? That is really important because yes, every time, every moment, you must have seen that there's a lots and lots of data which is being generated all over, right? Be it your Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, your social media, not just that, but even the servers that you may be working in your company, or maybe the cloud or anywhere, there's a lot of data which is being generated. I don't have to tell you all that. I think we are all aware only about that. And how do we handle it? Okay, so after a certain point of time, there are these tools which have come into picture, like which are called as data visualization tools. Okay, I will just put it in the chat also, data visualization tools. Now, these tools, if you ask me, do anyone is aware about which tools do we have in market for data visualization?
Then Power BI.
Okay, Power BI.
Tableau.
All right. So these are top two data visualization tools. That's correct. And then followed by these tools, then we have ClickView, ClickSense, Yellowfin. We have MicroStrategy, which was a market player for a very long time. And then we have some SAP tools and all also, which are there and which have been there in the market. Okay, so these are, what these data visualization tools are also called as. I'll just show you. But in the meanwhile, you can guess what are these tools also called as. See, these tools are also called as business intelligence tools. As you can see, this is the magic quadrant for analytics and business intelligence platforms. These tools are very important, wherein you have the market leaders as Microsoft Power BI, you have Salesforce tool, which is Tableau, and you have ClickView or ClickSense also it is called as. These are the three top leaders. Then you have the challengers like Google and Domo. You have the niche players which have been there in the market for a long time in terms of data visualization. And then you have visionaries which are available over here. Okay, so all I want to tell you is this is a Gartner report. It's a report which will compare all these tools every year, and you will get this report coming out. So these tools are there, and when it comes to PPT, it's usually your images which you will put into your PPT, and it would be some amount of data which you would insert there. But apart from that, these tools which are data visualization being a core part of your PowerPoint presentation, also you have this Microsoft and this Salesforce and all these tools called as business intelligence tool. Now this should directly give you an idea about business intelligence as a whole. When I talk about business intelligence, it's not just about knowing your data, but this data that you would present is directly linked to the each and every aspect which is associated with any kind of business. Maybe you are the owner of that business, or probably you are part of that business as an employee, as a customer, or anything similar to that. Okay, so in this case, what happens is when you are presenting your data to your people, every data has got some story to tell, right? And this data needs to be presented in a very efficient manner. Okay, so that is exactly when you use these tools, and these tools, trust me, even in fact, each of these tools has a feature wherein you can export your data from here also in the form of PowerPoint or in the form of PPT. Okay, so this is exactly the power of PPT, because how do you present your data? I'll show you an example also of both of them. Okay, and that would actually help you with a lot of other features. Okay, so these are some of the things, and now apart from this, coming to some of the basics and some of the theoretical concepts also, wherein we will then directly go to some of the hands-on kind of things as well. So, well, these are some of the things which most of you people may be knowing, that, the PowerPoint skills that every one of us should know. Like, first of all, what are you creating, right? A presentation, or is it a document? Because if it's a document, you go on embedding anything over there, lots and lots of theory, history, and it just works that way. But when it comes to PPT or PowerPoint, you have to be very specific, right? You have to be very specific. So suppose if you are talking about, say, a particular country, right? So it's not just a particular country that you can just talk about, and you have to be specific about the very niche aspects or the core aspects which make that country, right? That's just an example which I'm using. And apart from that, it's also important to have a good template. Now, a good and a rich template is something which will add on everything. So now there are some things which I can give you as an input. First of all, usually it's good to have the basic white background, okay? And because too much can be too bad, so it's okay if you have basic white background. But see, when you are presenting in front of your boss, suppose, okay, this is an example. With time, I'll be using a lot of examples. So suppose if you are presenting in front of your boss, so see, the meetings in the corporates, right, they won't be held for hours and hours together, right? What kind of meetings do we have is 30 minutes of meeting with one person at a time, right? Now, in those 30 minutes, hi, hello would be there. In those 30 minutes, some talk and all would be there. You'll give a basic background of things. And there would be other aspects also, which you may want to update him or her about it. Now, just imagine in those 30 minutes, you have to tell, suppose the work that you have done in all 1 year, complete 1 year. Or if you want, you may have to tell him or her everything that has been completed or covered about a big project that you have been handling since last 6 months. And how can you explain it now? So there comes a very big challenge wherein you have to tell him, explain him or her everything, and at the same time it should be very in a very simple and easy way or language also, so that they understand it really very well. And this is when the concept comes into picture, wherein add in not more than 4 ppts. That's what we advise, and that's what we follow during our meetings as well. Not more than 4 ppts. Okay, yes, you may have a lot of story, a lot of history to tell, but it should be very simple. So with that comes the concepts of dashboards, wherein either you embed it into PPT or you use tools which you can later on go ahead and you can directly export them in the form of PPT. Okay, so these are the smart ways and methods of doing certain things. And there are a lot of tools. It's, yes, you have PowerPoint wherein you can embed things then and there. You can have your history put in over there and all. Otherwise, I'll be practically also showing you both in Power BI and Tableau as well, how you can embed beautiful dashboards and you can directly export them as PPT as well. Okay, and these tools are free. Like, of course, Tableau is a 14 days free trial version, and then it's on top of one email ID, and then you can have as many email IDs created, or you can purchase also. Yes, Tableau is a little costly one, but Power BI is available for free, so probably you can work upon with that as well. There are some pros and cons every time, of course, if you are using the free versions, but those are also some of the ways in which you can work around with data. Okay, even getting Excel data in PowerPoint is another interesting thing, wherein you have a lot of data, you get it over here, okay, and you directly get started with your presentation or anything. But that is something which I would suggest when you have not a very large amount of data. When you have very large amount of data, you have to use certain tools for that. Okay, and that's there. And okay, so although PowerPoint, so I'll just take a pause with these PPTs, and the moment I open my PowerPoint, okay, so I usually get a plain thing. Okay, and on the right, what you see, these are the design ideas which nowadays we are getting with these designer thing, but provided that you have Microsoft 365. Okay, otherwise you will have some basic PPTs or basic designs, and you can get started with that as well. Or you may also have certain themes which you can insert or you can embed and you can get started with. Okay, so how many of you know about Microsoft 365? Do we have anyone who knows about Microsoft 365? All right. So if you do not know about it, no worries. I'll quickly give you a glimpse about it. So this is Microsoft 365. Yes, it costs you some price, but what I have taken is a family pack. Okay, so it allows me to share it with 5 people, and I'm the 6th person, I suppose. And it allows me to work around with a lot of beautiful features. Okay, so here you see this icon over here. It gives me so many things as 365. If I tell you, it gives me calendar, clipchamp, Excel, everything. So PPT is one of those. So this is what I would personally suggest you if you are working with the PPT format. The moment I click on PPT over there, okay, so here you can very clearly see these are some of the themes that it is giving me. And then these are some, of course, of the PPTs which I already have, but you can always search for a specific PPT if required. I'll show you. Let us explore the themes that it is telling us or showing us. See, these are some of the, see, what I mean to say is, based upon the situation, based upon the condition, based upon the circumstances, or based upon the topic, you got to choose a very suitable theme. Okay, I'm not saying that you should always stick to the completely white background kind of a PPT, but yes, a theme is also important. So based upon the kind of situation, be it a simple presentation related to your technology, right? So like technology, if you type there, so see, it gives you technology related PPTs. There they have got more templates. So it depends, what are you presenting, right? And you can directly get started from here. These are some of the PPTs which you can get started with. Okay, so hope this has been a little helpful for those who do not know about it. For those who know, that's a great thing. Any questions so far? Okay, thank you. If there's nothing, you can always put in the chat if you have any question. Now, how to create a master slide for global changes, right?
Excuse me, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
So currently the chat is disabled, but if any of you have some queries or something, please raise hands and we will take a note of it. Also, in the interest of time, since we started a bit late, I will just request Deepika ma'am, for the initial part, you may rush through it in the interest of time. Okay? And if someone has a doubt, they can raise their hands and we can clarify that.
All right, sure. Okay, so this is there, and then we'll see how the usage of placeholders and application of fonts and colors and read speaker notes. Okay, and then display mode, and then how do you keep it simple and how to scale up with it. So directly going to the PPT here, well, I've already told you about the design options that we have over here, beginning from the simple file related options. So when you're opening, if you do not have Microsoft 365, it will just pop up a blank presentation or some few options. However, if you have the 365 version, you can choose any of the themes that you may want to have from here. Okay, well, these are some of the options which most of us are very much aware, and these are some account and options related settings which you can always make changes to from here. Okay, language or any other such things which you can always make changes from here. Now, apart from that, you have in the home section, you have here a lot of things, like suppose if you want to embed a particular data, right? I'm not talking about the the difficult data or anything. I'm talking about the simple data that you would want to embed, okay? Not a very big amount of data, but simple data. So you can just, pick up specific columns like this, whatever, or the data that you would want. You can simply copy it. Now there are ways, okay? If you just try to paste it, it comes like this here, like this, okay? And there is one more way wherein you can paste it from here as well. Okay, so see, for pasting also you have different ways given over here. You can just keep the text only, right? Or in the pictorial format if you want the data to come out, or anything like in the Excel format. So, or you would be able to do the formatting further, or you can paste special option is also there, wherein you can directly check from Microsoft Excel worksheet option or object, okay? So these are some of the things. Now, apart from that, you have some more advanced versions like, see the reader notes. If you know, at the bottom, you will have the reader notes. You can just type up and you can get your reader notes, you can get started with. Apart from that, if you want to, at any point of time, get started with recording, right? Recording your video, you can also start the screen recording over here. Okay, so this, the videos which come out with MP4, okay, the videos which come out with MP4, these are a little heavier one. That's what I have experienced. There are specific tools in market like Camtasia and all, which are also available, but at any point of time, if you do not have those tools, because those are the tools which come with heavy prices, and you can actually go ahead and you can use this freely available feature which we have in Power BI. So yes, it can be a video also which you can embed from this device or from online and other such things, or you can embed a audio which is there on your PC, or you can record the audio as well. Okay, so these are some of the things. And when it comes to screen recording, just see if I try to do that, I can actually begin by selecting the area, right? And other such audio related options and all, whether I want my audio to be there or not, and then the recording would start, right? So these are some of the things from where you can get started. Okay, and coming back to the slides. All right, so there are more things as to how do you add life to your PPTs. Okay, so you can always add in more life by adding some GIFs. So if you're talking about, suppose, cloud connectivity, or if you're talking about presence of cloud in your data. Okay, so most of you may be aware of this, but this is what instantly adds life to the data. Okay, so for example, we have first of all gif.com, and then you directly start with the search of cloud in Power BI or anything similar, right? You have got fuel and anything, power in nature, anything randomly is what I'm picking up. Or to be more specific, let me just show you. This is not the very specific one. Let me just stick to cloud technology for now. Yeah, Giphy is what is the best one. GIFs, and you can just add in. See, there are so many options which you can just add in. So either you can copy it and directly paste it over here. So see, it can take one part or section of your video, of your PPT, and you can just present it. This is one of the very interesting features which can go in from time to time. Okay, so these things are there, and apart from that, whenever you want to embed anything, right? Whenever you want to embed anything, so usually what we are habituated with is adding the text box, suppose. Okay, so suppose if you are adding the text box and you are just putting in certain points like so these are the plain points which are available or there. What you can do is you can just insert some other features which we have in PowerPoint, like the smart arts. Okay, you can just select what smart art you would want, and okay, just a moment. I think yeah, so you can just insert these smart arts and you can get started. You can just put in your data over there and you can work around. Now in this smart arts, you have for different things, like you have the list, right? Different lists. So based upon what do you want to embed, you can actually go ahead and get started. You have the processes which are available, the cycle, hierarchy, relation, right? Metrics, different things you can get started with, pyramids, pictures also. So these things which you can embed and you can get your work done in this manner. Okay, so definitely we have features, like there are these 3 points only which you are seeing which are getting added. You can, for sure, you can add in more text, and all features are there. Wherein you can insert more things by right clicking, the insert option should be there. Okay, like new comments and all, which you can add from here. You can change the style, color, layout, and new comments can be added. Okay, so these things are there. What else? Can you people tell me how would you add more life to your data? What do you think? How would you add more life?
Charts, maybe.
Okay. So that's true. Whenever you are working with your data, it's very important that you have charts come in. Okay. We will be covering the part of chart also shortly. We have a lot of charts coming up. But there are some more best practices when you are working around with your PPTs. So here, see, timing is very important. The very first thing which I told you, if you are given 30 minutes of time, Okay, so please ensure that you put your details in the PPT in such a manner that you are actually able to get all the insights and you're able to communicate more rather than just speaking. Whatever people are going to see, they are going to remember that. So you keep that, keep them reminded about things. Okay, most of us are aware about how do we create dashboards in Excel. Let me just show you the created dashboards. Okay, now knowing Power BI and Tableau, that's a different thing. Okay, I'll just show you those details as to how do you get more data come here. Okay, so just a moment. So this is just an example. And for Tableau as well. Okay, so now you can clearly see that what I've done is I've created so many charts over here in my Tableau, and at any point of time, I can just go ahead and I can check out my chart in the form of stories. Okay, now, or in the form of dashboards also. Sorry, in the form of, yeah, correct, dashboards also. Right? So these are the same charts which I've already created and I have presented them in the form of story. I can also quickly create a dashboard. So this is a simple dashboard which I'm creating now. Okay, just to showcase how you can use these advanced tools to add more life to your visuals. And file, save as, or rather file, export as PowerPoint. This view. Okay, and then I can just save it. And then later on, you can just add on, you know, more details to your existing PPT. So we have a chart story. Yeah, I think this one. So see, you have your chart story come up and you have more data come up here. Yes, it's a very basic dashboard, which is not very much advanced one, but you can use these tools which are freely available and you can get started with embedding more of data. Now, in one data, I'm having my profit related info also, I'm having my sales related info also, and then some map related info, and then tree map, which tells me some differences, or, you know, based upon the shape, I come to know more info about my profit or sales, whatever numeric thing I may add into it. Okay, so this is just an example wherein you can use these advanced tools to showcase your work. This is one way. Then what you see over here, this is also another example. Now this is Power BI and this is a dashboard in Power BI. So you can use such dashboards also. Now you see, it's a sales dashboard, and using this dashboard, I can have a quick info about my revenue, my total dates, okay, by ID, product name, and everything. Obviously, here, just like in Power BI, I have all these features of selection. I may not have these options in my PowerPoint because it is more towards the static version. Okay, however, you can make or you can create such charts, or I'll also show you how to create such charts wherein you are embedding more info and you get started. Like you just go ahead and you export it from here. Okay, so these are two ways which are, you know, which any person in the data visualization section is already working upon in today's market. That is one thing. Apart from that, you can use a lot of other tools also. Like if you're wanting to create things right here, yes, you can get started with charts and so on. We'll come to that shortly. If you have any questions, you can always ask me, okay? Sorting your slides is another important thing because sequence matters a lot. Okay, so please ensure that you are doing a proper sorting of everything that you are speaking or the sequence. This is where, because each part has its own role to play, and when you actually sort things, it is helpful to know things in a better sequence or manner. Okay, there are best practices which we will keep in mind. As I told you, that you should keep it simple. Don't add on a lot of info also, or don't see, it's good to add on a lot of info, but it should be like, it should not be too much clustered, right? People should be able to make out that data, or whatever info you are putting there. Have a theme, and that theme should be consistent. It's not just for the first 2-3 slides you have put in a particular theme and then you just forgot, or you got lazy while creating because of lesser time, and or anything else, and you have just forgotten the original theme. So see, be it anything, if you're talking about tech, you should have proper theme in place, because all that really counts. Okay, in corporates, obviously we stick to the basic pure white themes only, but depends. If it is some kind of hackathon and all, then we have some good themes also come up. Okay, so I'll just show you also that particular thing, because I remember it from the word hackathon, that I'll show you certain things also related to it. So be smart with colors. Well, again, this is another important thing, because if you are showing any kind of profit, right? So please ensure that you use green colors for profit, right? For showcasing profit, and red color for any kind of losses, right? And not the reverse for sure. So these things are there. And then for neutral, it's usually yellow or orange. These are the things, or sometimes brown also. And then depends, depending upon different situations. Also, sometimes if you're talking, some aqua themes also can be there, and colors can be added and all. Or you can also add in range of colors, right? For example, from the darkest to the lowest, that kind of range of colors also can be added, just like you see over here. That kind of coloring also can be given, wherein you know that lowest value is for orange, suppose, and then the more the orange it is, means more loss has been there, and as you go ahead, it's more of darker color or thing that you are having. Okay, so these are some of the things. And then choosing the font wisely. See, if you ask me professionally, it is usually the Calibri 11, right? Calibri 11 that we usually use. Okay, I may have written the spelling wrongly, but I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. I'll just see. We have this Calibri. Okay, I think I wrote properly only. Calibri 11. Okay, that's the basic theme that we usually use. And for headings, it's usually Calibri 12 or 14, any one of them that we would use. Okay, so this is one thing which should be kept in mind. Sometimes it's okay to have Arial if it is official, and then it depends. If it's too techy and all, then you can have those heavier themes also, which can be embedded into, and anything similar. Okay, so these things are there. Anyone who would want to add on some more things to all those things that I've been speaking, because I want it to be a little more interactive, and I've been speaking for a while now. based upon your experiences. Although there are a lot of things coming up, but still, if anyone wants to open up.
Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, I had a question that usually the problem that I faced is that it's difficult to establish flow and it's difficult to choose which sort of representation to use for the data appropriately, and how to make sure that there is a story that is tying up the entire presentation. So any suggestion for that?
So usually you see, if in PPT, if you are showcasing such things, either you use those infographics. Infographics is another important thing which can be kept into mind. Infographic kind of PPTs and your visuals you are adding on using again this smart arts and all only, or you know those show you a proper flow and all, or kind of animations which can be added upon, and taking things one by one from here based upon your choice. You can select what kind of animation do you want. You can add in duration, and you know for how long do you want it, or all those settings and timings can be done or changed from here. But otherwise animation is one good thing also which can be used for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay. Now, next thing, it is usually advised that you shouldn't be putting a lot of text in your PowerPoint, right? Because obviously, you can also read, your participants can also read. It's better to have more of visuals in your PPTs. So, the kind of dashboards which I've shown you, okay, that kind of things, which if you can embed, that is always good. So that is there, and then use high quality graphics. So when it comes to graphics, I've already shown you certain infographics which are already available. You can have some extensions also. Now, definitely at the same time, we have some limitations that things are usually static. As I told you in your PPT, it's good to have your GIFs and all, so it brings some life. Because see, there is one thing which we are aware that such kind of movements won't be there in a PPT usually, and this is one of the reason why if you add any graphics or if you add such kinds of shorter representations or shorter one picture, just one picture. If you don't know, you can of course learn it any time, or you can search it in Google and GIFs and all, everything is available. So based upon your topic that you are presenting, okay, that one PPT, for example, it will represent a lot of things. For example, I'll just show you, just a moment. Now I have one thing as traffic jam. A traffic jam, we know, right? We all know what it is. But if you add any one of these GIFs, obviously it makes a lot of difference, right? And see, it's just one word which I typed there, and you can yourself see there are so many options which are coming up here. So it's like I'm not doing anything. I'm not writing any text or anything. I'm just embedding just one image, which will say a lot for me, right? So that is why it's important to add such kind of graphics or videos or something, right, which has life. Because PPTs are mostly towards the static side, or animation also. Even through animation, what you can do is, here, this particular feature of animation that we have, if you have a lot of visuals one after another, right, what you can do is, using animation, you can set the time duration. Like, after this animation, like suppose another one starts, or like, for example, if I'm just embedding a plane image, right, a plane means aeroplane, I'm talking, one aeroplane goes from here, and then another one, you want it to go from here, from right side to left side, right? So the path can be designed by you, and you can set up the everything using the delay, duration, everything, which one comes after which one, right? So you may have seen that people, they won't even use very difficult tools, but in that way you can create your animation, your own animation, in that particular way also, right? So these are some of the things that you can work upon. Okay, and then, yeah, this is one of the points which I've already been explaining, and I've been stressing so much on this, that you should try using any kind of audio or video. I would say video because, of course, it's the PPT. Audio is something which you are anyways using also, but yeah, it's good to have some kind of background noise, or some kind of thing in the background also, if it is, if it suits your presentation. Okay, and yeah, minimize distractions in your slides. So if you're talking about one particular topic, it's good to be specific, just to talk about that particular thing only, and not to talk about other things if they are not relevant. Okay, and it's okay, it's good if you break up your slide into small chunks. Okay, yes, I know that this increases the number of slides, but sticking to good slide, to minimum number of slides is better, because after some point of time, there can be chances that you are basically just repeating certain things. Now that's a different concept, that you have got 8 hours of seminar, and you have to explain a lot of concepts and present a lot of things and all. That's a different thing for sure. But ideally, in meetings, or where you would be applying it as a final use case, I'm talking from that particular perspective. Okay, because yeah, now if it's a whole day session only, so that's a different story. Okay, and there is no forgiveness to you if you are having any kind of spelling or grammar mistakes. There's no forgiveness directly. It's a very poor show if such kind of mistakes are available in your PPT. Okay, yes, if you find anything while presenting, you can just mention that, or you can make the correction then and there, for sure. But just going ahead with the wrong one, or being unnoticed, so sometimes people will doubt you, right? That maybe you have not even created that PPT. So this is another thing. Okay, now on that note, just a quick one. Is anyone aware, where do you get ready-made available PPTs? Do you know any such site? You can go on mentioning if there is any site. Is anyone aware? Everything is there online, right, nowadays?
SlideShare.
Okay. Anything else? I've put it in the chat. You can check out for Scriptd also. Okay, but SlideShare for sure. And Scriptd will have books and all also, so you can add in certain things from there if required. But SlideShare is one thing wherein you get all your PPTs, right? Directly, you can download your PPTs and everything right from there. Okay, definitely. listen, this is one important thing. Whenever you are using someone else's PPT into your presentation, it is always important that you go ahead and you mention the source from where you have got your details. Okay, it's important. It's always, otherwise it comes under plagiarism and copyrights, all those things. Mention the source in one corner somewhere in the bottom, or somewhere in very small font or something. Mention that this belongs to this source. That's all. Okay, so if in case you're copying it from somewhere, so that is one thing. Now another important thing is the data presentation. Okay, so here, see, when it comes to data presentation, yeah, making sure that your data can be seen using dashboards and all, yes, of course, you can focus mostly on the points that your data would illustrate. So as I told you, have pictorial or animation representations. If you want to present too many things, probably animations can be there, and then certain photos can just vanish also after some time. That is also another thing which can be added. You can share only one major point for each chart. Okay, so this chart thing, we are getting closer and closer to this. So when I say one major point from each chart, it is somewhere one point wherein I would like to share with you. Are you aware about Abelas? Anyone aware about Abelas? Okay, so Abelas, these are the chart rules that we have. Okay, so whenever we are trying to create any kind of chart, any chart can be broken down into 4 parts. Okay, comparison, relationship, composition, and distribution. Okay, any chart can be broken down into these 4 parts. Now, whenever you want to show any kind of comparison, you use these charts that you see here: histograms, heat maps, bar charts, column charts, stacked bar and column, side by side bar and column, the cyclic data or radar charts, right? And then you can use the line charts or combinational line charts and so on. These are used for showing any kind of comparison. Another kind of charts that we have are the relationship charts. Okay, or the charts which show any kind of relationship between 2 or 3 independent quantities. Usually you don't have option more than that. So scatter plot is usually used for showcasing relationship between 2 independent quantities. Okay, and your bubble chart is used for showcasing relationship between 3 independent quantities, wherein size of your bubble is the 3rd parameter. It represents the 3rd parameter. Then you have composition as a parameter. So your composition, it can be shown using your area charts, right? Or your pie charts, waterfall charts. So all these charts, even stacked bar charts, even they can be used. And then you have your distribution, which can be shown using your normal distribution, histogram, scatter plots again, and 3D area charts. Okay, so I'll give you this link in the chat. It's a very famous chart rule, and the concept as a whole, Abelas chart, is it's known. Okay. Next we have is the labels, right? So of course it's important to add labels to your chart, because don't consider those labels as any kind of text, but yes, we need numbers, right? Because when you are presenting, you just imagine, like, this is the chart, right? Just imagine this pie chart. If there is no south and there's no number over here, or these are labels, right? If you don't have them at all, what are you going to present? So this is the reason why labels are very important, because they directly tell you about any kind of comparison, and these are numbers ultimately, and anything that is measurable, of course, it is something which can be improved, right? Anything that is measurable. Now, visually, you can highlight the crucial points. Okay, for example, of course, I've shown you the the conditional formattings which can go in that, the one which is having the highest profit zone and the one which is having the lowest profit zone. So that kind of color codings can be added, and you can also add ranges to them. Okay, so that is another thing wherein, of course, you will have to work around with other tools also if required, because PPT is the ultimate thing. Okay, then you can write a slide title that would reinforce the data points. And then, yeah, so finally we have come to the topic of charts and functions. So we have different charts that you're seeing over here. Okay, each chart is, as I've shown you already, each chart will, just a moment. Okay, so, well, how do you create them even in PowerPoint? So you have here section for your charts, right? And you have all these charts which you're seeing over here. Okay, so for any kind of comparison and all, you can use these charts. So let us try working upon them a bit. And probably I'll give you time to create these charts as well. So I'll be sharing this data with you. Okay, just a moment. Let me share away this data. Okay, so before I even put it in the chat, it's a sample Europe Superstore data set, okay, wherein you have row ID, because of course you have order ID, you have order date, ship date, right, ship mode, customer name, and customer ID, segment, city, state, country, region, product ID, category, subcategory, product name, sales, quantity, discount, profit. So all in all, there are 20 columns. If you see the count, there are 20 columns. And if we check for the number of rows that we have, there are 10,000. Okay, so when you are inserting this kind of data, just a moment. Excel spreadsheet, and from here you can just go ahead and you can just copy paste, okay, but not that complete amount of data. Of course, I would suggest that you are being very specific just for the top few rows and columns that you may want. You can just copy and try pasting them there. Okay, so either you do it this way or you do it this way, your choice, right? Directly, if you do direct copy paste, just a moment, it comes in this way. Okay, what you see in the background, this one, Otherwise, as an Excel thing, it comes this way also. Whatever is your choice, you can put in, and you can just have whatever columns you would want. But yes, it usually doesn't takes a lot of data. Okay, so just 1 minute. I would prefer taking just few columns which are important to me. For example, maybe country column. Okay. I'm just pasting here like this. Okay. And maybe I'll just delete certain columns which I don't even want. In the paste special option, we have this Excel related thing wherein you can just paste your data there. And then based upon this data, you can insert different kinds of charts, right? Like if you see here, you have the column chart, which will show you some kind of comparison based upon this data. You can have it. So right now, when I'm choosing this, okay, so what it is doing is it has not taken this data because it has come as an image. Of course, I can later go ahead and copy paste the data into this chart in Microsoft PowerPoint here and then get started. Okay, so probably you can try doing that. Suppose you can have different categories, like you can have country. Oh, just a moment. You can have France, Italy, and Denmark, anything like this. Okay, and you can have Austria, and then you can have profit, sales, and you can have discount that was given, right? Anything like this, and you have your visual in place. For now, I'm just keeping this one at one corner. I'm not letting it go. And from here, you can, of course, add in more things, right? So yeah, please go ahead and create a visual of this sort. It's not the data which I'm using. It's directly going to insert chart. You select your column chart and you just get started with your visuals in this way. Please do that. Is it done? You can always add the chart title and all. Okay, so how many of you have created the charts before this also? Just to check, because we shouldn't be wasting our time. See, these are the charts. I'll just show you. These are the charts. How many of you have created these charts? You can unmute and speak if you're not able to put your things in the chat. Do we don't have anyone? Because then we'll continue creating the charts.
I did it in my last organization. I prepared a pie chart and bar chart.
Not the other charts?
Not really I needed, but a pie and bar chart. That's what I.
Okay. All right, no worries. They're hardly going to take 2 minutes. We'll complete those. So column, well, you have, always remember you have stacked column, which is going to help you show composition and comparison both. And then you have such kind of side-by-side charts also. Okay, so when you have more than one parameter to showcase, like in this particular case, I was showcasing, not just like for France, I'm showing profit also, sales also, and discount also. So it's called as a side-by-side chart. Okay, now this same chart can be converted into another kind of chart also, which is your stacked chart also. Okay, so here what happens, it shows the composition like this. All right, so this is there, and then we have, hold on. We have the line chart. Line chart helps you make a comparison that or it shows you the progress that has happened over the period of time. Okay, so I'll just insert one, and then it allows me to put in things. Just remember that line chart would require one of your values as date, because date is a quantity. It's better to have one of them as date, or one column as date rather, or else because it's comparison kind of thing, it's okay if you just use your profit, sales, and discount kind of things also, and then you have added A, B, C, D different parameters based upon which you would want the comparison to be made, right? What I'll do is I'll just copy paste this so that I have a copy of it and I don't have to type things up every time. Okay, so here you go, you have your line chart. Now what happens is you can instantly see the the highs and lows. If you consider about your sales, which is orange in color, you see that the sales goes up first and then it comes down. So probably you got to check what happened here with the C parameter over there. Okay, and you can make it a little more expressive. So of course, axis title, maybe you can add in over there, so you can add more values over here, or else you can get rid of it. Chart title, you can fill it up. Data labels is something, it's good to have those labels, those numbers over there for every point that you have. Okay, they add life. And then data table, this is optional, yet you can add it, or you can just let it be. Okay, error bars, well, in statistical measures, usually it's considered that there is a certain range around which certain points would revolve, and probably those error bars show us that particular range, but it's usually not used. Okay, grid lines, if you wish, it's okay, otherwise you can just have plain ones. Legends, well, legends are the color representations and they are important in this particular case, right? These are the legends which are telling you which color is what. Trend line, I will not have it as of now. The ups and downs bars, if you want, you can add it. I usually don't add it because this is already a very self-explanatory chart. Okay. And then you have the styles which you can add in from here. Okay. Yeah. That's all. And then based upon your choice, you can apply filters based upon the parameters that you would want or not. You can add those. Please go ahead, create your line chart. We will proceed then. All right, hope you're done with it. We can insert other charts as well. The old one is open. And I can't even find it. Okay, no worries. Okay, the pie chart, well, if you see here, there are different kinds of pie charts. Yeah, Abhishek, tell me.
Ma'am, I had a doubt in this previous chart, the line charts.
All right.
If the quantities are not comparable, the like sales and profit, like discount, they'll be not in the figures will not be comparable. So that's
See, like sales, profit, and all is there. This was the data, right? Sales, profit, and discount. But the parameters, or these are the categories, right? For each category, different things are there based on which
me. Let's say, ma'am, the sales are like 2000 or discount is 10. So the chart gets skewed in that case.
That's right. So scaling is one thing which needs to be either done by us, or let's try doing that. In that case, you can add a secondary y-axis or something. Otherwise, usually that is what we suggest. Because this is going to for sure screw it, but secondary y-axis will balance all that. So see, yeah. So here, yes, it has screwed it. So instead, it's better to add a secondary y-axis. Now, hold on. You have the option for one more axis somewhere from here only. So that way you can add in. So what happens is one y-axis will represent one of the parameters, and probably another one goes to another parameter or another axis. Okay. So if I get it now, that's fine, or else I'll quickly get back on it. Okay. Just a moment. Let me just check.
Ma'am, you are muted.
Sorry. So, did you hear the explanation about scatter plot?
No, ma'am.
No worries. I'll complete the bubble chart and then I'll go there. So see, bubble chart is showing you the comparison between three parameters. You have X, Y, and then size is showing you the third parameter. More the size, the more, you come to know the third parameter. Okay, so that's your simple bubble chart. However, we have this, I was telling about this scatter plot. I'm just going to choose a simple scatter plot. What happens? Hey, just hold on just a moment. Okay, so yeah, these are some of the ways. I was just telling, now see, I have just got here three values. Okay, the moment I have a lot of values, always having more data is always good only. Okay, because that's basically more data means more information. If I have more values, I can that time allocate them into scatter plot, and then these scatter plots help me know more about there are some associated concepts of machine learning. I come to know more about these things like the clustering concepts come into picture, and then the correlation concepts come into picture. So you people have done your MBA and all, right? I am from the, it must be this management courses which you may be having these mathematical concepts also for sure. If you do not have them, it's always good to know these concepts of correlation, clustering. Okay, these are some of the concepts which go in your machine learning and all. So, or even statistics. Why to go that far? Even in some parts of statistics, you will have clustering and all as well, or sorry, correlation and all. So that time, what happens? See, if I consider the concept of correlation, okay, so every data will have, all these data points would have some patterns, right, according to which they would be under, they will try to cluster under one particular section. Okay, and then based upon that particular section, how they are, okay, or based upon the groupings which they would take. Suppose I have 100 points, suppose, just imagine in this region, other 100 here and other 100 here. These are the three clusters which are available, right, in my data, and I can call them as groups, different groups, three groups which are available in my data points, right? So these are the important things which you can always keep into mind. And then you have other concepts of correlation which go under statistics. So correlation scale is there, which ranges from -1 all the way till +1. So you have your data points. When you have a lot of points, you come to know the correlation, whether it is a positive correlation or negative. Positive is basically nothing but direct proportion kind. When you have data of direct proportion kind, wherein if one quantity is increasing, another one also increases, that's your positive correlation. If you have indirect kind of inverse proportion, then you have negative correlation. Please hold on. Okay, so these concepts are there. You can always read about them. And yeah, moving on to other kinds of visuals, we have the maps. Okay, now these maps, of course, they require some country related data, and based upon that, you can see these are kind of filled maps. Okay, these are filled maps wherein you come to know about your series. Now, instead of series, you can put in any concept like profit over there, right? So you come to know where is your profit more and all. So you clearly see that it's the highest in Australia, right? Just based upon this kind of color formatting. So when you have your map in this form, so PowerPoint is smart enough to recognize all these things also at the same time. Okay. And then you have your chart, you have stocks related concepts. So you can just embed high, low, close for each day wise data. And you have your, so you don't have exactly candlestick kind of a graph over here, which is usually used, but you can embed certain things of that similar kind as well. Okay, so these things are there. And so if we see the stocks, so you do have candlestick ones also. Okay, the perfect ones which are used to represent, and you can have them this way. So day wise stock, which stock is that you can just mention, or you can be more clear about it, which stock is it. Okay, and you have the high, low, all the representations can be made in this way. Okay, and then surface, well, you can have different kind of surfaces. You have 3D, right? You have wireframe 3D, you have contour, anyone, whatever is your choice, you can just add on things related to that, and you can have your surfaces. So this is again used for showing any kind of composition only, and you can make it more available, or you can more visible. Radar, well, you have three kinds of radars over here. So whatever you want, you can select. Probably I'll go with this one, radar with markers. So what happens is it usually takes 5 parameters or 5 quantities that you may have, and you can just fill in the values this way. And if you do not want, certain things, you can just get rid of them. If you feel that it's too much of a cluster, it just shows comparison only, mostly. Okay, the radar, or it's also called as cyclic data chart. Okay. Then you have the tree map. Tree map shows comparison only. Okay, so here you can see you have branch 1, branch 2, branch 3. These are the 3 categories which are there, and based upon them, so see, let me just add on that. Suppose for branch 1, what happens in tree map, it's used for showing hierarchy basically. Okay, so the bigger the block, and especially the first block, it's usually the highest value that it may be having, right? So that is why it's the biggest one. So, and then it goes on getting smaller based upon size. That is what your tree map is used for, showcasing any kind of hierarchy. Okay, so these things are there. And then we have other things also, like you have the sunburst again, which shows the composition. We have advanced form of sunburst charts coming up in Power BI, wherein you can actually have more dynamic features as well embedded in them. So what happens, a practical example, if I show you of sunburst chart, just hold on. The tool takes a little while to open. Okay, so see here, you have these three categories are there, which are the major sections. You have subcategories as the second layer, and you have third as the third one as the product name, right? Or similar thing or segment. Now, if I want to see what's happening in technology, I come to know directly about technology, how much percentage it is taking out of these three totally. Okay, I can be more specific with consumers, and you come to know that consumers, I'm getting 6.85% of sales by consumer alone, right? Same way for machines, for individually, you can come to know the values. So that's what here we won't have much of interactivity in Power BI, PowerPoint, of course, but then I hope you understood the concept, right? And this theme and all can be changed. Then you have histograms. Well, it shows the frequency. I don't have to tell you for any particular value or any one numeric value also, you can see the profit value, suppose, and you can know the frequency. This in the background is a normal distribution curve. Usually it may not be that perfect. It's standard normal distribution and all. Box and whiskers, again, another statistical concept wherein you can check out if there are any outliers in your data. Okay, so what are these outliers? When you see this particular point, this can be considered as an outlier. Any point above or below these lines of your box plots or whiskers are called as outliers. Those are the points which are usually kind of odd man out kind of thing, and probably very unusual from the other data points which are existing in that particular parameter, right? So all those things are there. And at the same time, for these points only, what happens is, see, if you have your data like this, if you're having your data like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 80 or 800 like this, it's of course, it's obvious that you will consider 800 as outlier, maybe because there's something wrong. It looks different from the original data set, right? So maybe you have added 2 zeros after 8 by mistake, maybe, right? So what box plots will do, this point, it may or may not be wrong or right, whatever, but box plot will at least highlight that this is the outlier, or this is the point over here that we need to relook at. Otherwise, there's something wrong with that particular point. Okay, but one thing to remember, not all points that you see are always outliers. Because suppose if this is the salary of people in an organization, and suppose this is the education on y-axis, and I just calculate, certain points about those people, like these are the people, right, in this salary band or in this range, like, and suddenly I see that there's some person who's directly salary seems to be here this much, right, on a scale on x-axis. Now this is something that we know. If you use this kind of data in your box plot, right, this point it will consider for sure as outlier, because the point is very different from the other points. But one thing to note is that not all points that seem to be as outliers are always outliers. Maybe this person is Elon Musk, and this is his company, is the richest man on earth, right? These are just the employees. Maybe this is, the more the education of a person, more would be his salary, right? So there can be different parameters, but yes, this is what happens, that at least box plot will do its job of highlighting what looks like an outlier. Okay, so maybe you can go back and you can check what's different about that point. It may or may not be outlier, that's a different story. Okay, and then you have well, histograms, box plots, waterfall charts. Okay, waterfall, another interesting kind of charts. So what you see over here, these are the categories that you are seeing, and this gray color, these are usually the totals. Okay, of your categories, these are usually the totals. Okay, be it your positives or negatives, your profits and losses, whatever it is, it will do a summation of all that and you get a total of it. Okay, so this is there. Actually, there are many things to tell, you know. It consists of a lot of things. Then you have the funnel chart, which again shows you kind of hierarchy, right? Category wise, you come to know the highest profit or sales or whatever numeric quantity you put in there, and according to that you come to know the hierarchy from huge largest to the lowest value. Okay, and then you have the combo charts, which I've shown you already. This is a combo chart wherein you are having your bar plots also, and you have your line chart also, right? So coming back to where we were, we created almost all kind of visuals and so on. You can add in some more points over to that. Okay, so that is there. Adding things in bullet points is always a good practice, but I have told you that we have infographics, which are advanced versions now. Okay, bullet points and all is there. It has been there, but when you have lesser points and all, it's good to have infographics. And those infographics, sometimes they will come with animation and all also, which you can add in. Ensure that your data is very crisp and clear and simple to understand. And you should also be able to give an overview of everything. Okay, you can keep it short always. Whatever your visuals are there, keep it very short. Don't always go ahead and add on more and more things and everything. More information can be confusing because sometimes. Okay, and then you can use animations, which I've shown you already. Clarify your key message. So of course, you should not get deviated from your actual key message. So it's very important that you have your proper clarification come in over there. Okay, so less is more. So stick to more of minimalism. Okay, more is more. So repetition, that's not the case. Okay, you shouldn't be repeating too many concepts or things. Then words are not enough, so make it multi-dimensional. We have just now seen the detailed view of so many charts and visuals. Then we have objectivity, which is it's not enough. Get emotions involved. So see, every parameter has got some end resource or some end source which is there. Okay, so reach to the core concepts from how it is affecting overall, you know, everything, and also it should be very practical, yet it should be able to tell the things which are at the same time getting affected and so on as well along with that. Okay. And then concrete rather than abstract and practical relevance. So try to, it should not be just theoretical, but practical use cases or applications and everything, like basically kind of proof of a concept kind of a thing. Also, if you showcase along with your PPT or anything, it's good. For example, if you are saying that cloud can help us send messages or send mails or so on, just show a proof of concept, or at least include something, some proof of it in the PPT or something, right? Just by saying and presenting, that is not going to just, so it's just like a speech otherwise which you are doing. But for you to be able to help your team to take actions in future, you should be actually able to put things in a proper manner. Okay, in such a manner that people are able to draw some actions or some insights, some summary and all also from that. Okay, another thing which is okay, before moving on, I'll take a pause. I've been speaking for a long time now. Any questions? All right, so if there's no question, I'm proceeding. Next is the formatting. Okay, so what is PPT formatting? We have just seen, right? Making certain changes according to, be it your font, be it your template, be it the way you are presenting it, or be it proper animations to be there, right? Everything should be in alignment. So those are the things which you need to keep in mind. Okay. Anyone want to add in? What do you think is PowerPoint formatting? Or why is it called PowerPoint formatting? See, first of all, why do we need formatting? When your data is there, okay, you have created your data, but with time, of course, you realize that it can be made more better, or your PPT can be made more better, right? And that is when you go ahead and you format it. You change the font, the color. I told you the coloring rules, the chart rules, everything, and accordingly you bring everything in alignment. And at the same time, we have to balance the timing. We have to balance the number of PPTs, we have to balance the information, more and more information, lesser PPTs. So everything has to be taken care of. Okay. Why is it needed for business presentations? Formatting, because of course, proper presentation is another important thing, and you should be able to keep things crisp and clear. What is the process involved in formatting slides? So we have a lot of things, right? In the slides, different processes wherein you can go ahead and you can work upon with, suppose I'm just adding some history over here randomly, and you can just work with, you know, the format related things. So you have shape formats here, so you can work with the font, right, and styles and everything, word art, styles, this bringing forward, backward alignment, all text, all those things are there. If you're working with your visuals, that time also you have format, some similar visual kind of formats which you can work around with. You can alter some text if you require there. Okay, like some more description can be added for your text. So these are some of the things you can work upon. Okay, then moving beyond default formatting. So see, always try to add in some more new features, and it's always better that your PPT or your presentation is different when compared to what other people are presenting, right? See, you people are doing MBA. MBA is how do you sell things better, or how do you sell yourself better, whatever it is, right? So at that time, it's always better to have things a little bit different way, in a different manner, right? So be specific about your points, yet it should be unique, it should be new. being creative at the same time is more important. Now, next is to follow the 5 by 5 by 5 rule. Okay, so now what is this 5 by 5 by 5 rule is to keep your audience from feeling overwhelmed. You should keep the text on each slide very short and to the point. Okay, some experts, they would also suggest using this rule, but no more than 5 words per line of text, 5 lines of text per slide, or 5 text heavy slides in a row. Okay, I'll just put it in the chat also for more clarity quickly. First one is no more than 5 words per line of text. That's the first rule. Second rule is 5 lines of text per slide. And then we have the third rule for 5 text heavy slides in our rule. Okay, that's the 5 by 5 by 5 rule. So that is there. At the same time, you should not forget your audience. So important thing is to know who will be watching your presentation. So the same effects and funny clip arts which can be added that would entertain your classroom, or full of middle school students, that may sometimes look unprofessional in front of business colleagues and clients. So humor is there, it can lighten up a presentation, but if you use it inappropriately, then your audience, they might think that you don't know what you are doing. And knowing your audience at the same time, that's why is important, and you should tailor your presentation to their tastes and expectations. Okay, so this is there. Then you can choose readable colors and fonts. I've already spoken although about this, but your text, it should be very easy and easy to read and pleasant to look at. Large simple fonts and theme colors, these are always your best bet. Okay, so the best fonts and colors, these can vary depending on your presentation settings and presenting in a large room. So you can always make your text larger than usual, so people in the back, they can read it. Okay, and presenting with the lights on, you have to take care of the surrounding, your background and everything. Your dark text on a light background is your best bet for visibility. Okay, dark text on a light background or something vice versa. And don't overload your presentation with animations. That is something which I would add on, because as anyone who sat through a presentation, while every letter of your paragraph, if it's zoomed across the screen, then with too much of complicated animations and slide transitions, it becomes irritating. Okay, so that's why before including the effects like this in your presentation, ask yourself, would this moment in the presentation be equally strong without an added effect, or does it necessarily delay any information, right? So if the answer to either question is yes or even maybe, then leave out the effect. It's not required. Okay, but at the same time, you can use animations sparingly to enhance your presentation. Like, you don't have to take the previous one. Always to avoid animations or effects entirely, you can use them sparingly. Subtle effects can be added. Okay, and animations can be added, so that you're adding more life. At the same time, you're having bullet points appear as you address them, rather than before. You can help your audience attention at the same time. And then you can keep those tips in mind the next time you're creating your presentation. All right. So these are some of the things which you should be able to keep in mind And then there are a lot of other things, like you can highlight the large images that you may have, right? So like many PowerPoint slides, they would include some placeholders for inserting images and all. So most of these placeholders, these are pretty small in comparison to the entire slide. So while using these placeholders, what you can do is you can just place your text alongside your pictures, and it can also have it covered in the entire slide. Okay. So you may or may not be able to include much text on these slides, but displaying the right image can be an effective tool to add in or to reinforce an important point in your PowerPoint. Then you have one word of warning or note if you want to add anything. All those things also can be done. Okay, so but when it comes to large images, please ensure the resolutions, the number of pixels as you display and everything. Okay, so the image, if it is looking too stretched or blurry, another thing that is also not good. Always use interesting fonts, because see, now interesting font, why depends upon the theme also. Include your theme, know your theme, what are you speaking about, and according to that, your headings, your titles, your bullet points, your paragraph text, everything should be proper accordingly. You can include more than one font in key font. Okay, that is one key thing that I would say. It will make your slides look very well designed. Okay, but many fonts and all, no, it's a big no at that time. Okay, you can have, there are so many beautiful fonts, so you can just explore around. But if it is professional in your office, stick to Calibri, maximum to Arial. Don't try around much with it. Okay, then you can create your own color schemes also. So because PowerPoint themes, they will have so many color themes and all, so you can always play around with those. You have the create custom color themes and all those things which you can add on. You can try the bold themes. You can use the theme variants which are there. You can use transition that works with your presentation, right? So many things are there which you can put in, and you can use Format Painter in PowerPoint, and Word also it is available. So those things are there. Okay, so I'll take a pause over here. Any questions? You have a lot of free resources for your learnings available for Mac users. Okay, so Microsoft Office is there, but you have a lot of free resources if you're a Mac user as well. Okay. All right, so if that's all, if there are no questions, probably I'll take a pause for today. I think I've been speaking for a very long time now, and I'm almost done with my presentation and the topics that I wanted to present. But if in case there are any more questions, you can ask before we close the session for the day. Okay, if there's nothing, you can go on dropping off. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this session. I hope you guys found it useful. It will help you.
Your voice was cracking, although Prakash.
Yeah, they become audible now.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. If there are no questions, I'll be then dropping off.
Yeah, Deepika, I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you.